It's a fresh early morning in the Lowveld of Mpumalanga. We found ourselves on an old abandoned runway to kick off round 4 of the Lowveld Enduro Club. Over 300 riders have arrived to take on the epic battle of rocks, dust and rivers in the historic town of Pilgrims Rest. The gold prospecting town of Pilgrims Rest is a place of rich history in South Africa, most notably for the story of Percy Fitzpatrick's Jock of the Bushveld. But for the Lowveld Enduro Club, its roots lie firm in the local soil as the venue that started it all back in 2008 when Robin Flores kickstarted what was to become the Lowveld Enduro Club's Gold Rush Enduro.
Pilgrims Rest started in 2008. Jeff, a buddy of mine, had kids in Woodlands Primary School in Sabi, and he's not the type of dad to do fundraising with a golf day and stuff. So him and I decided we were going to do a joint fun day at Pilgrims Rest for bike riding. We were still very new into it, and we built a nice basic 30k loop in Pilgrims Rest around the front of town, going around town, using some of the very old trails that we still use till today, and had a very successful Woodlands Funduro, as we called it back in those days. Over the years, the race has evolved and riding skills have upped and the demands have changed, and we've grown the race from strength to strength.
Route director for the Pilgrims Rest Enduro changed hands once again, this time seeing Ryan Silver, well known for his incredible riding ability in the high school class, take to the hills to uncover some of the magic of the mountains and meticulously plan the route that the riders were going to be taking on.
It's going to be a lacquer route. We're in a new venue here, so no one's done any of this riding before, which is nice, so it's all new. So we race down the runway, which is cool. So I think they're going to start like road 3, come across over the bridge. Red's going to take a left and go up a gnarly climb as they start, just to wake them up a little bit. So we got the one right behind you here is Nipple. Then we got Roof of Africa. Then back there we've got Ridge. After Ridge we got Burnt. Then Burnt we do like a camelback, like 2 mountains, and down River. Then Slim Shaily, top of Slim Shaily, right on the top of the ridge, drop down Van Dyke, and then back home. That's for Red. And then Green's also. Green's gnarly, Pink's gnarly. Because we haven't had any races here, there's no tracks really, so we've had to go and work, make tracks, but some sections of lurkers. But it's gonna be gnarly riding, lots of trails.
We had a short catch-up with Kim Hodgkin, the race director of the Lowveld Enduro Club, about the pre-race planning.
Well, actually, I think this is going to be a nice one. New venue, well, not new venue, but new riding place, new pits. It's going to be lekker. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Tell me, how have the people been on the build up to this?
Excited, I think. It's quite a drive out of town, but it's been good. Everyone seems happy and excited to be here. A little bit cold, but it's going to be a good day.
From a championship point of view, is it heating up a bit?
I think so. I mean, our numbers are still good. We've got 250 riders here today, so not bad considering what the country's up to at the moment. Everyone is definitely still excited to ride and keep that championship running and to keep their points up high.
After race briefing, it was go time. Riders lined up for the start of the race, and after checking in with timing, the race got underway. After a short stretch of runway, riders hit the dirt, and it quickly became evident that following was not going to be easy. The dried up soil quickly turned to clouds of dust that would affect visibility for chasing riders. The course was fast, and this showed in some very impressive lap times. In the Pro Elite field, Armand Fourie, back from injury, was constantly chased by Kevin Lee and Ryan Pelser, with Lee trading positions on the first lap. Ryan Pelser and Rob Garvey kept the pressure on lap 2. Fourie would regain the lead, while Pelser continued to chase down Lee on the last 3 laps. Pro B saw Gabriel de Toy hold on to the lead from the start, but Zander Goosen and Michael Scriven stayed ready to pounce if de Toy experienced any difficulties. Goosen and Scriven completed their first lap with a 10-second gap. The race was on. In the high school class, Clayton Todd and Tyron Pelser put in a solid first lap ahead of Matt Stevens and Stuart Billingham. Billingham, having trouble on lap 1, had a lot of time to make up and put in a very quick second and third lap to make up the time he had lost over Pelser and Cod. Pro Mini was a smaller than usual field with Stian van der Heever and Miguel Cavina racing it out. Stian took an early lead on lap 1 and kept it on his second lap until tragedy struck on his third lap, resulting in Cavina taking the win. Carla Niebuhr was the only ladies A entrant, but that didn't stop her from racing the boys and putting in some fast lap times. In Kickstarter, Alexandra Lee showed the boys how to ride as she chased down Oliver Whitehouse and Jaco Kotze. The trio stayed within sight of one another through all 6 laps, with their combined times all being within a minute of one another at the end. 85cc Junior had David Clark controlling the race from the start, and he put in 3 flying laps ahead of Hannu Steenkamp and Bruno Niebuhr. Some close racing in the 65cc category saw Paulus van Niekerk within sight of Alonso Foster and Werner Kleinhans. However, van Niekerk ended up receiving a 15-minute time penalty, which dropped him back into 3rd place. A huge shout out to the medics and marshals on the day, with a number of incidents out on the course this year resulting on a more than average casualty list. These were dealt with professionally and quickly to ensure the riders' safety at the event. Our largest ever field of sprockets took to the course to race it out. These youngsters only know one speed, and that's full gas. The support from friends and family was amazing to see, and hopefully their love for the sport continues to grow. We spoke to some of the riders after the event to hear how their day went.
Die organisasie is goed, die opkomst was awesome. Dit was baie mense gewees en ek moet sê dit was open baie nice.
Fairly simple, a little bit hardcore. We've had, comparing to last year, this one was much easier.
Want al die enduro's kan nie moeilik wees nie. Party moet bietjie makliker wees, ander moet baie moeilik wees. Vandag was baie lekker.
I really like the route. It was fast but dusty, faster than normal. Still some tech sections, but otherwise it was a good race.
Here are the results. In Pro Elite, Armand Farid took the overall win in a combined time of 3 hours and 35 minutes, with Kevin Lee in second, followed closely behind by Ryan Pelser and Robert Garvey. In Pro B, Gabriel de Toy took his 3rd win of the championship ahead of Zander Goosen and Michael Scriven. Pro Mini saw Miguel Cavina take the win with Stian van der Heever in second. In high school, Matt Stevens had the consistency to take the win after chasing Stuart Billingham put in a solid effort ahead of Tyron Pelser and Clayton Todd. Tristan Dale rounding off the top 5. In the seniors, Graham Hedgecock took top honours ahead of Hannes and Abraham Simon, with Matthew Gregory and Jamie Watt rounding out the top 5. In the Masters, Kevin Peters kept it consistent ahead of Alex Varlas and Paul Botner, who lost the lead in the 2nd lap. In the 85cc, David Clark took the top step ahead of Hannu Steenkamp, with Bruno Niebuhr rounding off the podium. The 65cc class saw Werner Kleinhans just a minute ahead of Alonso Foster, with Paulus van Niekerk taking a well-deserved 3rd. In the Kickstarter, Oliver Whitehouse took the overall win ahead of Jaco Kotze. Alexandra Lee showed that the ladies can compete and closed off the podium in 3rd overall. For a full list of results and championship standings, you can visit www.tagtime.co.za. We look forward to seeing everyone back again at our double-header event on the 3rd of September at Casterbridge for round 5 of the Lowveld Enduro Series, and then Sunday the 4th of September in Hazyview for round 3 of the National Extreme Enduro Championships hosted by the Lowveld Enduro Club. Thank you once again to our sponsors, crew, volunteers, medics, riders, as well as their families and supporters that bring the energy to our events. We truly appreciate it.